Hey everybody, welcome to the exclusively solo podcast starring the one and only me, Maddie CK. Maddie CK. The only host you will ever need in this odd listening experience. What will you get out of this monstrosity, you may be asking? Well, shit. This podcast will consist of whatever the hell I want it to consist of, really. You're going to get a glimpse of my life through the stories I will share with you. You will laugh, you will cry, or you won't do any of that. I'll tell you about my weird dreams, my thoughts on world events, the strange happenings of my neighbors. Maybe I'll even share with you some of my writing I have, or give you insight on what I do away from the microphone with podcasting and doing YouTube videos and random Twitch streams, or just anything really. It's just my life. I'm putting it out there for all of you. It's a very scary thing to do, but I'm gonna do it. Probably another question you might be asking, or you might ask later on, will I ever have a guest on the exclusively solo podcast? Fuck no. It's in the name, exclusively solo. It's just gonna be me. But actually, I really don't know. It's very up in the air at the moment. For the people I want most to come on to a podcast are very busy leading their own lives. So now just deal with me. Please. Maybe one day there will be an exclusively solo podcast plus one edition. But I do plan on, if anything happens in the future, making a podcast with a group called the Cool Kids Podcast. Working title, really. I don't know if I want to call it a club, like the Cool Kids Club or the Cool Kids Podcast, but since we probably won't have matching leather jackets or like a quotation thing that we can say together, like a secret dialogue or anything like that, I don't know why I would even call it a club, since like we'll most likely be it'll be different people mostly all the time, I would assume, because again, we all live different lives and blah blah fucking and blah. All right, enough of the scripted shit. Let's just get right into the show. I have quite a lot to talk about on just this pilot episode, and I really can't wait for you guys to hear it. So hope you guys enjoy. Thanks. All right, we're live. Holy shit. Okay, cool. All right. So I guess the first thing I should probably do is probably introduce myself to those of you who don't even know who I am and why you should be giving me the time of day. Pretty much. So I guess I'll start off. I'm Maddie CK. Or if you think that's a little, cheesy or cringe to call me that, you can call me Matt, or you can call me CK. Or for the ladies, you can call me Maddie, because all the ladies call me Maddie. I haven't been called Maddie for like 6 years now. Okay. You can, it doesn't matter. You can call me Maddie, Matt, doesn't matter. But this is Maddie CK, and it will be going on the Maddie CK YouTube channel, at least for now, until I can figure out another place that I can put this on. But for now, you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com, Maddie CK. Do all that yada jazz. Subscribe if you want. Hit that motherfucking notification bell if you want to get a heads up on when I upload. That stupid shit. Do that if you want. But this podcast will be up there, as well as a bunch of other stuff like live action videos that I really need to get back into doing. There's only 2 of them so far. They're very short. I do mostly video game stuff because it's a lot easier to deal with. A lot more content comes out of that when I'm gaming with the boys, or even if I'm just gaming by myself. It's just a lot easier and a lot more, I guess, how should I say? I usually just spend most of my time playing video games anyways, so that's why I go deep into that aspect a lot more than just live action. It doesn't really take too much to think about. You kind of just look at your Steam library or Xbox Game Pass on PC, and you just look for a game, you're like, I guess I can play that, and I guess I can record it too. Why not? I also have a Twitch. Follow me there. Twitch.tv/MaddieCKLive. Get it? Because, when you stream, you're streaming live. That's a cool thing, I guess. Nobody watches it. But if you want to follow, go ahead and give a follow. You don't have to subscribe because I'm not a Twitch partner anyways, and I don't have a PayPal set up because fuck PayPal. But you can follow me there. I do stream sometimes. Right now, I need to finish Resident Evil 7, that piece of shit game. We're not going to get too much into that right now. We have a lot of things to talk about. But yeah, I need to finish that game. And then, because Spooktober, I think, is actually today, as I'm recording this podcast. Yep, October 1st, which is amazing. It's the Halloween month. Halloween in itself is an okay holiday. A lot of people go batshit insane, no pun intended, when Halloween comes around, when the month October comes, right? It's annoying. You know, you have the not even thinking about the pumpkin spice latte fuckers that are out there, right? The ones that just go to Starbucks as soon as fall hits. It's like, I want my pumpkin spice latte. It's not even that good. I just need it. It makes me feel so warm and cuddly inside, like a blanket around me. And oh my god, when it's cold outside and I'm in front of a fireplace with my significant other. God, he's so dreamy, but he never texts me back. Anyways, fuck pumpkin spice lattes. I wouldn't say fuck Halloween. I like Halloween. I like the dressing up portion. Just, you know, as an adult, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm becoming a little bit more cynical as I grow older and a lot more jaded. It's not that I don't like dressing up. It's also like the planning. Like, if you want to do, like, a really good dress up or, like, a really good costume, you kind of have to plan before, right? You can start planning in October. And you can have the idea of, like, oh, I'm going to be a Frankenstein. I'm going to be Dracula. Why am I giving examples of the most basic shit? I don't know, like, maybe you want to be, like, I don't even know. Let's say you want to make your own, like, bounty hunter costume, like the Mandalorian. I'm saying like a lot, and I want to kill myself. But let's say you want to make a costume centered around, like, the Mandalorian, and you want to be your own bounty hunter, or you want to do something like that. Kind of takes more prep, I would believe, if you really give a shit. If you really want to wow people with your costume instead of just going and buying, like, a $50 replica costume of your character that you're trying to portray. You might even want to go out and actually build it yourself, right? Like, when I was a kid, like, my dad would try to do that, at least towards, like, my late was it middle school years. To it had to be middle school, because it wasn't cool to be like Aang or really a shitty Boba Fett in high school. In high school, I think I did a costume that I created out of a superhero that I created with my friends that we talk about sometimes. And I can get into that later on in the podcast episodes about who that character is, but I'll keep it a secret for now. It's a really cool character. I might even just do a solo podcast episode of just talking about that character, or just my writing in general when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, the last time I wore, like, a Star Wars costume was possibly, like, there I go again saying like, was probably around, I want to say, it's got to be 8th grade. I doubt I was Boba Fett in high school. I doubt I was. And the reason why I say middle school is because it didn't fit me. Maybe it was, like, freshman year of high school. I doubt it. I think I stopped at 8th grade going, like, trick-or-treating, because I felt that going into high school and trick-or-treating was a little weird. I think you when you hit a certain age, it's gotta be, like, at least the minimum is 16, I think. Or the maximum age that you should stop going out and trick-or-treating should be 16. Minimum, I want to say 14. As soon as you're, like, getting into high school, that shit just needs to stop. It's just weird. If I was an adult and, you know, seeing children come out up to your doorstep, trick or treat, Yeah, sure. Give them a Snickers. Give them a Reese's Pieces. Why not Reese's Pieces? Fuck that. Reese's peanut butter cups. Yeah, don't fuck the pieces. Pieces are fine. The pieces are fine. I would rather have the cups. Pieces are like when you want to. You get them when you're at the movies, right? You get the box candy at the concession stand. But to me, the pieces are just, it's too much peanut butter. It's just too much peanut butter. You need more chocolate. That's when you get the cups. Not the jumbo ones either. The jumbo ones will just make you sick. You just got to stay with the regular size peanut butter cups. And then when you're not eating them and you want to keep them like nice and fresh, put them in the fridge. A nice cold peanut butter cup is probably one of the best things that you can have. Child, adult, doesn't matter how old you are. A nice cold peanut butter cup is just delicious. But yeah, I think 16, you shouldn't be going out and trick-or-treating. It's just a little shitty of you to do so. And a lot of the times, teenagers aren't even really going for candy. They're just trying to be assholes, doing like the ding-dong ditch stuff and the toilet paper. I saw that happen once, where people were trying to TP a house in my neighborhood, and I was like, fuck. I hope they don't get me. Hope they don't get me. I think my fence was egged one time, but I think that was by people I know, which even sucks even more. You know who you are. I fucking hate you. Still talk to one of them to this very day. But yeah, 16, stop trick-or-treating. And so, yeah, the last time I wore a costume was the Boba Fett costume, and it had to have been, if anything, 7th grade. Had to have been like the last time that I wore that. And it was just, the size was just too small for me. And, bless my dad, he tried his best to construct, pieces out of it that were kind of like his own. In a way, like he wanted to make the shoulder pads real shoulder pads. Because on these cheap costumes, right, for kids especially, it's just a flat texture. It's not even a texture, it's just a print. It's like somebody got a bodysuit and just freaking printed the design on there. So my dad wanted to pop out the design, and he used like some kind of like foam. It wasn't like what the cosplayers use, right? It wasn't too expensive, but it was nice enough. The gesture was it was nice enough for me to not give a shit. And he made the shoulders pop out more. He made the chest plate pop out more. And what didn't come with the costume was we bought an inflatable Boba Fett jetpack. That's from The Empire Strikes Back, because he had a different colored one in Return of the Jedi. In Return of the Jedi, that jetpack was green, and it matched more of his color scheme, whereas the one from Empire was blue and yellow, and it was I like that one better. Nerding out on Star Wars. Don't watch the sequel trilogy. But because I remember we got the costume at Party City, and then we got the costume. We threw away the mask because I already had a Boba Fett helmet. The ones that oh god, I'm burpy. I don't think it's a Black Series helmet. I think it was before they were called Black Series. It might have been a Black Series helmet. I don't really know. I doubt it is Black Series, because I think the Black Series is a lot more. I think it just looks better in terms of the T-shaped visor. On the one I have, it's so thick. It's not nice and thin like the actual helmet itself. Rather, it's this thick piece of just plastic, and it's just, to me, I hate it, and it's a small nitpick. But the reason why it's done like that is so that way kids can see out of it properly. Because wearing that helmet, and it's a very thin visor, T-shaped visor, it's hard to see out of that thing. And the helmet that I have it's made for kids. That's the only thing that's the only way I can see that. And I remember a couple of years before, I was Darth Vader, and I had the first voice changer helmet. This was back in 2005, because Episode 3 had come out, and they capitalized the shit out of that. George Lucas is a master at capitalizing on Star Wars in terms of merchandise. He knew that if anything, he needed to get the money from that, and he fucking did. That motherfucking legend. And so I got the first Star Wars Darth Vader voice changer helmet, and I still have it. The straps to his chest piece are broken, but put batteries in that, I think it'll sound really shitty. I think the last time I put batteries in it, it just sounded awful. The voice changer itself is just broken. The wiring is all messed up. It's just old, but I will hope to keep it forever. But the Black Series version now is a lot better in terms of quality, and it's a little more movie friendly in the sense that it's more accurate to the movie version, where I think it comes apart in like 3 different ways, which is freaking gnarly as hell. But I have yet to buy it. If I'm gonna buy another helmet, I have 3. I have the voice changer Darth Vader helmet. I have the Captain Rex Clone Wars cartoon helmet that I got for Christmas. I think I got all these for Christmas, pretty much. Except the Darth Vader helmet. I got that. It's for Halloween. And then I got the Boba Fett helmet for as a Christmas present. I have that. So I have 3 helmets. I have 4, actually. I bought myself Poe Dameron's X-Wing helmet. Black and red one. That one's the first Black Series helmet that I bought. And it's a good helmet. It fits well. It's a nice helmet. I like the way the visor comes down. And I think it was like $75. I think it might have been a little bit cheaper because I think I got it off Amazon. And I was in college, I want to say like my sophomore year. No, not my sophomore year. It was later. Late junior year. Yeah, because I had my office job. I'm talking to myself too. I mean, I'm talking to myself to the whole thing. Well, not really. I wouldn't say I'm going off on a tangent. Whatever. Point is, I did buy a Black Series helmet, and it was worth it. I don't wear it around, but my best friend Joe, like 4 Christmases ago or something like that, had to have been like 4 Christmases ago, got me Poe Dameron's jacket, or it was marketed as Finn, since he wore it the most throughout the film in Force Awakens. So I got that jacket, and so I was like, and I was going to a Halloween party. I didn't have a costume because I didn't give a shit. So I was like, I'll just be Poe Dameron. I got black pants, black shoes. I'll wear the jacket, and I'll just buy the helmet. And I just did that, and it worked. I was Poe Dameron for that Halloween 2017. And then I haven't dressed up since, at least in a legit way. I don't like if I'm not gonna dress up, I'm not gonna be an idiot or an asshole and dress up like in a really stupid costume. Like, I'm not gonna grab like a white t-shirt and then like get a Sharpie and write like what I am, those jokes, very old jokes of like, I'm a voter ballot or some stupid. Most of that's probably going to fly over your heads. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm not going to be like a cheapskate with a costume if I'm just not going to dress up. Like, if I'm not going to give a shit, it's COVID. We're still in a pandemic, if you guys aren't aware, because a lot of people are pretending like it's not happening again. It's still happening, so I'm not going to dress up. I'm not going to go out and trick-or-treat. I wonder how kids are going to trick-or-treat. They're probably going to just have their parents come out with a gas mask and just cart around a laptop and like a Wi-Fi booster and just be like, trick-or-treat from a Zoom call. I don't know what they're going to do. They're probably going to do some weird shit. People are going to go out. People are going to go out. There's no stopping that. Nobody stopped for Labor Day. Nobody stopped for spring break. They're going to fucking... Oh, we're fucked. But back to Halloween. Back to the important stuff of costumes. Halloween is a holiday as a whole. Not a bad holiday. It's not one that I God, I'm just a burpy person. I should not drink soda while I'm doing this or before. I should just drink water. Just simple water. What I do again, Halloween is just one of those holidays where you need to be a participant in order to kind of enjoy it. Cuz I'm not all into decorating my house for a whole month and then having to take it down, the next day or like the day after. Christmas is my favorite holiday, and you can say the same exact shit about that, where you just spend a whole entire month decorating, and then the next day after Christmas you take that shit down. But you and I both know, listener, that nobody takes their fucking Christmas shit down until like 4 months afterwards. Nobody does that ever. Even my parents don't do that. And they buy a Christmas tree, like a real Christmas tree, every year. They never want to get a fake tree. They always want to be traditional. I love that shit. And I love the smell of real pine trees. So they buy a real tree every year. And without skipping a beat, they always keep it for much longer than they should. And I respect that. They just do. They keep it. They keep it for a while. They keep it for like, I want to say like 2 months. And when they should have gotten rid of it the day, like after. They should have just gotten rid of it as soon as the sun came up on the 26th. Just yeet that shit out the window. Oh, the ornaments are still on there? Fuck it. We'll get more. But those ornaments have been in our family for generations. Fuck it. We're going to make more. Make new memories. Fuck the old ones. But no, they keep it. There are people that if you're not doing it, somebody that does it. They keep their lights on up outside. They keep the reindeer stuff outside. They do all that shit. And they do it because they even put it up early sometimes. People, as soon as Thanksgiving's over, the next day, boom, after they're done being assholes doing Black Friday shopping, they're fucking already out there putting out their Christmas lights. They're going to buy trees, even though the lots haven't been put up yet. They're trying to find a way to just get them themselves. They're probably cutting down like an oak tree that's growing in their backyard behind their house. And they're like, this is a pine tree, and this is going to be our Christmas tree, right, father figure? Yes, mother figure. What am I doing? What is this? It is like 1 o'clock in the morning, by the way. And I decided to record here because I was left alone from my friends on Discord, and I poured myself a soda, and I'm not going to let it sit around. So I thought, you know what? Just a slow sip. Let's just do the podcast. Why not? So, to wrap up the Halloween segment, Halloween's great. I like Christmas more. Maybe when Christmas comes around, I'll talk more about Christmas and why I love it. But Halloween's an okay holiday. I just don't give a fuck about it now because I'm older and I know if I'm going to dress up, it'll be for a party, which can be fun. But even then, I still don't want to do it. Also, decorating for Halloween is a hassle just as much as it is just as it is much of a hassle to hang stuff up for Christmas. Also, Christmas music rocks. Thank you, Michael Bublé. I should probably tell more about myself instead of go on a tangent about Halloween. So yeah, again, we already went over my name. I plugged my YouTube and Twitch at the very beginning, so that's very awesome of me to do that. I'm cool. Scuffed as shit. But yeah, I guess one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast was not to capitalize on maybe the hopes of being famous, because COVID-19 is keeping a lot of people inside, so they might be more willing to listen to somebody else talk to them since they can't see their friends or family. Not trying to capitalize on that whatsoever. But I just thought it would be just a fun thing to do to keep my mind at bay from going completely fucking insane. And it's just a way to keep me doing something while I look for a new job. Because, that COVID fucked me up. And I've always wanted to do it. It's always been on my mind. It's been on my mind for years now. And I didn't even start listening to podcasts till maybe a year and a half ago. And even then, I was only listening to one podcast that was dead. No new episodes were coming out. And I was just re-listening to the same shit for months and months and months, every day, just listening to it because it was so good. And so then the question just came out, why don't I just fucking make my own podcast? But then I was like, I don't want to do it by myself. Who the hell does that? Who is so much of a fucking loner that they have to do it themselves? I need to get my good old buddies, my good old pals from my hometown to come in and hop on this train wreck with me and crash and burn. But not even them. They don't want to do this shit. Most of it is because they have conflicting schedules. They have jobs. Fuck me. So they have more priorities at hand, which I respect that. And then also just, again, it's kind of, we're all just in a different headspace. A lot of, I'll do that. And then we set up a date and it doesn't happen. Which is, it's bound to happen with some people. I mean, I've had this idea for years and I'm barely doing it now. So that just shows that I'm less committed to it, but now I'm actually doing something about it. Which is amazing. I give myself the pat on the back. I give myself a little bit of a clap. A golf clapping. Because it's 1 in the fucking morning, about to be 2 in 30 minutes. So yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know what else to say about myself right now. I'm kind of going off the cuff. I didn't want to do a script. I only did a script for the beginning intro of this episode. But I didn't want to go too much into being so fucking A to B to everything. I'm looking at my computer right now. I wrote down bullet points, and my bullet points are completely different from what I went on. I went on a tangent about Halloween, and that's not even on any of the 6 shits that I put on here. So that just goes to show this is just going to be off the cuff fucking improv. Whatever comes to my mind, I'm just going to say it. And so you'll get to know me as these episodes go on, that I love to ramble. I love to just talk mad shit and just go into a deep rabbit hole until I, wonder how the hell did I get here? And then there's nobody here to tell me how I got here, so then I have to do backflips and tightrope walks all the way back up from the goddamn rabbit hole that I dug myself just to figure out that, I was supposed to just give insight on who the fuck I am so you guys can understand who you're listening to. But I guess that will just be something that we'll learn together, because even I still don't know who the fuck I am most of the time as these episodes go on. So that's pretty fun to talk about. But I do have this one question. For every first episode of anything, like TV shows, podcasts, mostly TV shows, why is it called a pilot episode? Right? Most of the time, you'll see, most of the time, like all of the fucking time, each episode has their own name. And it kind of gives you insight on, I'm just going to keep using that fucking word, insight. It gives you a lot of insight on what the episode's going to be about, besides having, the quick little summary about the show or the episode that you're going to watch. So, I think right now will be a cool time if I just Google it live, right? So, why do they call it a pilot episode? First images. All right, here we go. The first episode of a series is called a pilot because it leads what is to follow and establishes its tone and pace. I feel like that didn't answer anything. Pilot episode is coined from pilot studies, which basically serve for a test purpose for the network whether the cost of the further episodes can be justified. If a pilot episode is found appealing in a concept, the channel agrees to finance further episodes, and only then the series is broadcasted. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Quora.com. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that, and we're learning. See that? I if anything, I want every episode to at least have one thing that we all learn together. That's not just about me, but about something else out there. I'm glad it has nothing to do with airline pilots. Because, I've always wanted to be a pilot. That's a dumb fucking segue. No, I can't be a pilot. I'm somewhat colorblind and can't see certain greens, reds, blues, whatever. So, and also don't have 20/20 vision, so fuck me, right? What else is wrong about me? Asthma, short, stupid, ugly. The list goes on. I'm gonna check on what Reddit says. Was searching for other similar shows. The 100 is in the top 15 on IMDb. Smiley face. And realized the first episode of a few series I came across were called Pilot. The 100 is included. And I think this guy just copied and pasted what Quora.com said. So that's kind of cool. I just thought it was just a weird placeholder for like the first episode. Like they're like, what the fuck do we call this thing? I don't know. Like what? They're spending like 5 hours in a conference room just like, what the fuck do we call this fucking episode? I don't know, Brad. I just pilot? What? Pilot? Our show's about chefs. It's about a guy trying to be the best chef in the world. He's not a fucking pilot, Brad. But like, I don't know, Derek. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. We're gonna just scratch that fucking bit. We're gonna keep it in, but I'm just gonna hopefully not blow my brains out. So that's cool. That's why it's called a pilot episode. Amazing. God. Jesus fucking Christ. Anybody see that new Mulan movie? I heard it's trash. Oh man, we're not gonna get into that part of it. But here's one thing I want to talk about. It's a great segue to nothing. I don't know what it's not segueing into any of this. I want to talk about Whole Foods, right? I've been to Whole Foods once in my life until 2 days ago where I went back again. First time I went to Whole Foods, I was going with one of my best friends who just needed to get lunch for work the next day. So she's like, you want to just like come with me after like we just finished watching a movie and sitting down for 2 hours? You want to come with me to go get soup before I drop you off? And I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't want to be cooped up inside. So yeah, I went to Whole Foods. She got her shit, and then I was just like, this place is just weird. I've been to one other place that was kind of like it, called Central Market, which is a byproduct of H-E-B, and H-E-B is for people who are outside of Texas, is pretty much it's the better Walmart. Except it doesn't have electronics. Well, at least some of them don't. Most do now, but not to the extent of like Walmart, where Walmart has like TVs and all that shit. Some HEBs will carry consoles and like small TVs, but nothing the scale of a Walmart. And so, so Central Market is just it's a store where it just sells organic foods. It sells some stuff that's not organic. But even going back recently, like a month ago, or like maybe like 3 weeks ago, something like that, they kind of got rid of some of the stuff that's not organic, like Coca-Cola and things like that. At least I didn't see anything anymore. But they're focused on organic food, all the stupid stuff Whole Foods has. Whole Foods, more like whole paycheck, am I right? I didn't steal that from anyone. But yeah, Whole Foods. I went to Whole Foods, and I never want to go back. Not because I didn't like it, because I liked it too much in terms of there's a lot of cool shit at organic food places, other than the fact that everything's organic. I don't know. I guess it's just the way the place looked, you know? Also, it might have been just me being in a new place and actually going in and looking around and going on the adventure inside, you know? Getting to know the place. I think that's what made me like it a lot. Because it's not a standard H-E-B. It's not a standard Walmart. It's an entirely different thing. It's organic foods, and it's food with like no gluten in it. It's two types of people shop at Whole Foods: people with food allergies and people with too much money. And when you put me there, I don't belong because I don't have any food allergies that I know of, and I'm not a rich man by any means. I can save my money, but I can't obtain more money, at least at the moment, right? So I go to Whole Foods, and I'm there with my roommates because they need to get their food, and I'm just like why is everything so expensive? And my idea of it, my thought on it is that you're kind of, to the human eye, it's kind of like, let's explain it like this. You can go to Walmart, and Walmart has everything that you can dream of most of the time. That's name brand, Kellogg's, things like that. You know what I mean? Like there's name brand stuff that you can find there. Stuff that everybody knows about, right? But then Walmart has their cheaper brand. Was it like Great Ones? Not Great Ones, it's Hot One. I'm thinking about like Hot Ones and something else. Like Great Value. There we go. Walmart has Great Value. And it's on the cheaper end. And you can also notice like Great Value stuff is also like smaller in terms of like capacity. I need to stop saying like a lot. I'm going to smack my mouth. I trained for years in theater arts to not do this shit and public speaking, and yet I've lost it all. But like portion, motherfucker. But there are portions that are smaller in Great Value, but you're also paying less. I mentioned like smaller portions. I'm gonna kill myself. Let's get a like counter, Jamie. Can you pull that up? For example, I bought a bag of sugar. We were at Walmart. Usually, I'll just buy a bag of sugar at H-E-B because even the H-E-B brand is a lot bigger and cheaper than Walmart's brand. But we were at Walmart, so I had to settle for Great Value. And I decided to just buy, kind of like if it was just going to be used by me, I bought a small bag of sugar because it was like $1. Let's say it was like $1.15. The bigger bag was like $3 something. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's just sugar. And you're putting it in a bigger, it's not even that big of a bag. The next step up was not even that much bigger. And they're asking for like more money. It's probably not like outrageously like $3. It's probably like 2 something. But to me, the inner Jew in me is like, that's outrageous. How fucking dare you cheat me out of my money? Fuck you. Bigger, better, or is it bigger, save better, whatever. Fuck you. You're not saving me shit, dog. I'm going to H-E-B. But you go to Whole Foods, and even Whole Foods has their own Great Value item, like their own marketed brand, and that shit's still expensive. They didn't lower the prices. They're just like, this is our brand if you kind of want it. I bought a 6-pack of the soda that I'm drinking. The only reason it tastes like shit. I'm just drinking it to get rid of it because I spent money on it. Their brand is 365 Whole Foods Market, and I bought their cola, and I was like, oh, cool. I'll take a 6-pack. It was like 1 something. I'm like, whatever. Actually, no, it was like $2.99. 2 something. $2.99. Their 12-pack was like 5 something. And I could go to Walmart and get a 15-pack of cherry Pepsi for like $4.95. And they wanted a 12 pack of this shitty cola for $5.65 or some outrageous number like that. I say outrageous like I'm an entitled white man. I'm not entitled. I'm just Jewish. I'm not even that much Jewish. It's like a little part of me, like my wee-wee. I'm not that Jewish, but I have this is my thought process. It's shitty Coke. And the 15 Pepsi thing, it's just a stupid marketing ploy to say, like, look, you're getting 3 extra cans. Fucking, still, fuck yeah, that's great marketing. But you do look at the other products that are just, oh, here's 12 cans for $4.95, but then I'm getting 15 cans from Pepsi. Fuck you, I'm getting Pepsi. Pepsi's also better than regular Coke. Fight me. I don't care. You'll win the fight, but I'll still be right. So I'm at Whole Foods, and my thought process is that people who go to Whole Foods, you're paying for the promise that everything is organic. Not saying that it's not. I bought a bag of apples because I've been dying for an apple, like a good apple, and I was like, oh, Whole Foods has to have good apples. So I bought some fucking apples. I bought a bag of 9 apples, and by golly, they're fucking delicious. I love them. But that's the whole thing, right? Is it's an apple. And it's an organic apple with no GMOs, no other bullshit, whatever the hell they put in fruit that you buy at Walmart or buy at H-E-B or wherever the fuck you go, right? It's not processed the way that most stuff is processed now, right? But who's to say that they're telling the truth? Like, what if, just hear me out, what if they're fucking with us, right? What if they are actually putting shit in it, but it's a placebo effect, right? We see that it says organic, but it's just not. And they're playing us like a fiddle. And the reason why I bring this up is because part of it's kind of just true. You're paying for that tagline, organic apples, organic jam, organic cow meat, even though most organic cow meat just means it's grass-fed beef, which apparently there's a difference, which I did buy, grass-fed ground beef. Very small package for $5. And I was outraged. I can get more of that for like $3 or something at Walmart, right? But it's not grass-fed. Yeah, no shit. That cow at Walmart was stuck inside a big fucking building with a bunch of other cows with barely an inch of room to move around and was just fed bullshit, like feed for chickens. And they're like, isn't that supposed to be for the cockly doodlers? Who gives a fuck, Richard? We're making bank. We just need to get these cows fat and then kill them. Whereas at Whole Foods, it's like, well, Bessie here was a 35-year-old white black cow that was grass-fed in Hereford, Texas. We let them roam around on those grassy knolls, and by golly, she was a beauty when we put her down. Just look at that mutton. You know what I mean? Like, there's... People say it's just greater. It's better. But I didn't taste the difference. So I bought meat, and I bought burger buns. I bought an onion, a tomato, and lettuce, and I made 2 fucking delicious burgers out of with brochet buns and everything. I fucking took a recipe from fucking Gordon Ramsay, and I fucking banged that shit up, and I made 2 banging burgers. And yes, I ate both of them together, and then 5 minutes later I took one of the apples and fucking scarfed that shit down. Fuck it, I'm fat. Boom. Not really fat, I have a gut, but I know I'm overweight for my size, but boom, fuck you. I can do whatever I want. That's why I kind of stand by Whole Foods in that what I bought from them was delicious and great. And today I cooked a bratwurst that I also bought from Whole Foods the other day with brochet hot dog buns. And so pretty much it was like it's an Argentinian, not even Argentinian, that's not where those are from. Austrian, I forgot the brand of the weenie, but it was an Austrian recipe with like Swiss cheese inside the sausage. Swiss is my favorite cheese. And I was like, fuck. It was like $6.99. I'm like, I don't give a shit. That sounds good. Fuck you, Whole Foods. I shouldn't have this mentality while I'm here. I should be like, $6.99. I can go to fucking HEB and get a pack of fucking sausage links for $4.99. Actually, $5.99. It's just $1 cheaper. But I looked at those things. I read the Swiss cheese it being inside the weenie. And I was like, I need that weenie in my mouth. I need it just fucking hard in my mouth, yo. So I bought the hot dog buns. I bought the weenies. And I cooked that shit. And that shit was fucking fantastic. Whole Foods did it again. And then I also bought pasta. I need more ground beef. I bought pasta to make spaghetti. And I bought some organic tomato and Fort cheese pasta sauce. So now I need more ground fucking beef. And I don't want to go all the way to Whole Foods to get it. But I have like this small smidge, just like one small ball left of the ground beef from the grass-fed stuff. And so I'm like, I can... Just a little bit of a crumb suck. Just a little bit more. I'm going to use this. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm at a loss. Do I go get more grass-fed? Spend more money at Whole Foods? Or do I go and just fucking let the inner Jew come out and just say like, no, dumbass. Go get more and then cook more stuff with it when you're done cooking your spaghetti. I don't know. I'm at a loss. I mean, I'm most likely going to do the Walmart thing, but Whole Foods was a big, shocking surprise to me because I never wanted to go to a Whole Foods and love it because I knew for a damn fact that I would spend more money than I should, right? Because I can get a bunch of food for $50 at Walmart or HEB, definitely HEB. But I spent $50 on only 6 items or something like that at a fucking Whole Foods. That's what upset me the most. The food, I was like, this is gonna be banging as shit. The money thing, yeah, no, I'm not gonna be banging as shit at all. This sucks. So that's why I say Whole Foods more like whole paycheck. And what's the deal with airline food? Why does it suck? Fuck this podcast. Oh, man. Whole Foods. Whole Foods. I kind of want to talk about this one thing. This next thing that I want to talk about, it's kind of what got me to want to do this. To finally just do it. I got the new mic with the mic arm and everything. I've got the PC to do it. I've got new software to record audio and edit and things like that. And things. I got new recording software and things like that. You know what I'm saying? What was that? Let's take a minute. I'm breaking down. It's 2 a.m. We gotta just stop. It's 1 minute to 2, and I just knocked down a box of Nerds. Thankfully, it's closed, but god fucking damn it. I need to settle down for just a moment. What I'm gonna talk to you about is just some weird shit I woke up to. About 2 nights ago? Yeah, 2 nights ago. So let's get into the backstory. When me and my roommates moved into this apartment, we saw our neighbors. And at the time, our neighbors were what we thought were just 3 people. Husband and maybe wife, girlfriend, don't know. And their 1 to 2 year old daughter. And they were nice enough. They were like, "Oh, you guys are new people moving in?" We're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay, well, welcome," and all this bullshit. Nobody was coming over to our doors handing us cookies and a pie. It's an apartment. It's not like we went into some white suburban neighborhood and the creepy fucking neighbors just want to get on our side because they know something that we don't and they're in a cult or anything like that. We met them just a, hey, how you doing? We here, we queer, get used to it, I'm not queer. I swear. But there's nothing wrong with being queer. I'm just saying I'm weird. I'm just not, that other definition of queer. Right? I'm gonna stop before I ruin everything. So we meet the neighbors. That's fine. They have a kid. That's cool. Fast forward COVID, right? Fast forward to around March. That's where I lost the job and everything. And shit just starts acting weird. Not because the world's falling apart, but because I'm noticing that there's more people showing up to this apartment. I thought, they just have people over. Who doesn't have friends over at their apartment, right? But then they never left. Is the problem. Or at least I don't think they did. It doesn't seem like they did, really. Because they kept having these people over, every day. And then it kind of just dawned on us, maybe they live there now. Maybe they're, relatives that maybe started off as just people hanging out, but then they, maybe COVID fucked them up and they had to, move in with them. I don't know. But then, they started acting, weird. Crackhead weird. I don't know if you can tell I'm kind of lowering my voice a little because I don't want to know. I don't know if they're putting their ears to the wall and listening to me with a glass cup and see what this little shit's got to say about us. What does he got to say? Oh, he's being quiet. Why is he being quiet? Shh. I think he heard us. No, he couldn't have heard us. But he heard you the other day. Shh, you're getting too far into the story. We haven't gotten there yet. So things just get progressively weird. They jump from 0 to 100 real quick, right? People coming over, having a party during COVID when they shouldn't be doing. Taking, for example, they take out their dining room chairs to sit outside, which isn't a crime. We're allowed to do that here. We're allowed to have, a little small, outdoor set on our balconies and stuff. Since we don't have a backyard or, a back balcony, a sliding glass window or door situation like we did in the old apartment. We just have a front where we have the front door. We're on the second floor, and there's kind of just this big long banister that links our neighbors to each other, and then we both go down the staircase, yada yada yada, and we can have a small table and chairs there, which we have, very small table, a foot, maybe 11 inches long, I would say a foot long. And then 2 chairs, small chairs. And if we want, we could just sit out there. And since it's fall now, Bucket Spice Latte, we can sit out there and enjoy the weather. But before that, they would. But these guys, they don't have what we got. They just have dining room chairs. So they're bringing out these wooden dining room chairs to smoke cigarettes and drink and talk to each other. Which, again, nothing against that. At all. I'm actually completely fine with that. Because I've done it before. And it's fun. And then a random knife just showed up on the floor outside. Not a big one. Not a big butcher kitchen knife type deal. But one of those small ones. One of the smallest ones. I wouldn't even say it was the smallest one. Medium sized to small. That you'll find in a kitchen knife set. The cheap ones with the black plastic handle. It's just out there. And it's still there. And they seem to have kicked it to our side. And for good reason, we don't want to pick it up. Because we don't know where that knife's been. Has it been in someone? Has it been in an animal? Where's it been? And then a traffic cone showed up one day. And it's still there too. And not a one that you can buy on the internet. I said again, I had to stop. I fucking hate my life. Not a traffic cone that you would probably buy on the internet as a novelty gift. They fucking stole it off the road type traffic cone. It's dirty, worn, and beat up. And it's just there. Put it inside. I am not legally allowed to say. All I'm going to say is I know someone that I may or may not have been with when they stole a traffic cone from the street. At night, nobody saw us. It wasn't during the day. We're not idiots. But I've been there. I've done that. It's kind of cool and fun. But it was a small one. This is one of the big ones. The ones that most likely construction workers used. Not like these small ones that are just there like at a stereotypical like driving lesson area where they put the small little cones and they say, okay, now you're going to make an S movement between the cones. Don't knock any of the cones over. I'm going to mark you up. I don't know how car exams work. I can't drive. So, case in point, not a small cone. It's a big fucking cone. And that's outside. So I'm thinking these are either kooky characters that like to have fun and are relatively young, or they're fucking crackheads. And I only say that because some of them look like them. That sounds really bad. But I want you to picture a stereotypical crackhead. Close your eyes. And when I say crackhead again, I want you to visualize what that looks like to you. In 3, 2, 1. Crackhead. You got that image in your mind? Think about that and think about how they could possibly be living next to you. I only say that because one of the people that started living there was a young girl. I hope she's young. She looks like she was 45. Very skinny, not looking too good. She's probably like in her 20s. But, you know, when I can't help but assume this person's on something. They're probably not even on, they're not on crack, but they're on something. When you see them walking around constantly in and out on the banister and in their apartment and kind of just on the phone and then like kind of scratching at their neck. Like, yeah, where are you? Yeah, like, I need to know where you are. Like, I don't see you. No, you're not. I told you the gate code. And they're scratching their neck. I told you the gate code is blah, blah, blah. 6241. What do you mean you're at the gate? You know, just come to the one that's open. The one that you passed by. Which street did you go down? Ah, God, it's so itchy. Come on, where are you? You don't have my drugs. This isn't my drug dealer. Where the fuck are you? I need my drugs. Like, something like that, right? But this is only just assuming and kind of hoping that it's true so I can have like a really cool story to tell people. All I think is there's at least, I'm thinking there's like a minimum of 6 people living in the next door apartment. And I think it's only another 2-bedroom. So like 6 people in there. 3 who don't have kids. The other 3 is the boyfriend, husband and wife situation or whatever that is, and the kid. And the only thing that furthered our assumption of them being druggies in some way, is we came home one night, or one early evening after getting groceries, to not only the outside smelling like dinky wanky good kush, but the inside of our fucking apartment smelling like cushy wishy loud. And none of us smoke. At least in this apartment. None of us smoke. And it is not uncommon for somebody else's smell, and by that I mean like they're cooking, to creep into these old apartments, because they sometimes do. In the old apartment we were at, in the same complex, we could always smell when the neighbors were cooking really good Mexican food. And it smelled awesome. When they seem to be cooking something, though, they're burning the shit out of whatever they're doing. So my roommate's like, I think they're just really bad cooks because it smells like burnt crap coming through the vents. It's kind of burning my eyes a little bit, like there's smoke coming in through the vents. We first thought it was our air conditioning, but it's not. It was just them cooking, hopefully cooking. But to me, it smelled like either they didn't clean their stove, and so the heat ring, or whatever the fuck you call it, the stovetop, is just so dirty that it's just heating up and burning all that like leftover ash, and it's circulating throughout the apartment. Or they're like dropping water on it, and when you drop water on a burning stovetop, it creates that smoky, disgusting ashing smell. Because I've done it before. But to get it to smell that bad, they're either burning their food, or they are trying to smoke pot out of a pipe that they refuse to clean all the ash out of correctly, or they're trying to smoke out of a bong that has a disgusting bowl with a bunch of pot still stuck in it and 3-month-old bong water. And they're kind of just like, fuck it, you know, just rip and tear, baby. Like doing shit like that. It's one of the three. Maybe all of them. Maybe two. I don't know. But it's stopped. The burnt smell thing, we haven't smelled in a while. But the weed thing happened at least twice in like the past 3 weeks, I want to say. Like 3 weeks ago was like the last time we smelt it. And then we haven't smelled anything anymore. They probably realized that it's a little stinky. But let's fast forward. The reason why I tell you about the weirdo roommates, not the roommates, well, my roommates are weird, but the neighbors, the weirdo neighbors, is because I was woken up by them 2 days ago, which doesn't happen because they're not relatively loud. That and the walls in our apartments they're not thin. They're not that thick either. Like if I'm screaming my ass off, they will definitely hear me. But for example, my room is the closest to their apartment space. But we have two walk-in closet folds separating these walls. So the only way they can clearly hear me, speaking like I am now, is if I stepped into my closet and went all the way to the closet wall to the back and just stood there and started talking. Same thing with them. Keep that in mind for later. So I decided that night, I was like, you know, I'm going to try and fix my sleep schedule just a little bit. You know, I want to see if I can get a good night's sleep. Maybe wake up early, cook some eggs, have breakfast for once, you know? So I went to bed around 10:30 p.m. And as I was coming out of my dream, the dream I was having was a little odd. Excuse me. I was having this weird dream where I was visiting my parents at home and they were watching The Empire Strikes Back. I know, I'm a fucking stupid nerd. But they were watching The Empire Strikes Back. But it was a little off because a scene popped up that I had never seen before. And so I thought this was the weird 2011 Blu-ray version that had come out that added a bunch of other stuff to it. But this was a scene I'd never seen before, and it was on TV, so maybe it was like a TV-only thing. And the scene in question, like Luke and Vader were talking to each other, having a little chit-chat, if you will. And Vader turns around, gives Luke the back, and it just zooms in on Darth Vader's face. And first of all, his eyes are back to crimson red eyes. If you don't know this, you're about to find out or learn. In episode 4, Darth Vader's helmet was a mess. It wasn't symmetrical. It was lopsided in some places, and they had these crimson eyes that were kind of ugly, and you could see the actor's eyes through them, clearly. And then for Empire Strikes Back, they actually made a better model for the mask where it was symmetrical. They got rid of the crimson eyes, so that way you can see the actor behind them. But for some reason, I'm watching this and I'm like, oh God, they put the crimson eyes back. Why did they do that? For continuity? Oh my God, did they do that to the 6th film? And then I'm like, okay, so they put the eyes back. And then I can see the eyes, and it zooms in closer into the eyes. And for some fucking reason, they superimposed in really shitty CGI a black person's face on inside the mask. And I'm like, did they, what? And I'm thinking, are they making Darth Vader black now? Because James Earl Jones voiced him? Are they black facing Darth Vader when he's already black in his armor? And I'm saying this out loud, and my mom just goes, shh, I'm trying to watch. And I'm like, okay. And then he turns around and he faces Luke again. He pulls out a lightsaber, and it's just this massive red blade. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I'm freaking out. I'm like, this is all wrong. This is bullshit. And so I'm like, I have to tell the buddies. I have to tell my boys on Discord that this is fucking outrageous. So I pull my phone out, and I start going through Discord, and I'm typing it out, but I think to myself, this has to be done in a way, like in a bit. I have to do a bit for this. I can't just go out and say, hey guys, I'm watching the Empire Strikes Back 2011 version, I think, and this weird scene's going on, and then, and then telling them about it, and then, I'll just link the scene from YouTube. No, I'm like, okay, I have to tell them all of this in 4chan green text with the be me 24, go home, visit family, hoping it's a good time. 8 p.m., be me sitting in living room with parents watching Empire Strikes Back. happyboy.jpg. Shit like that. And for some reason, this starts turning into a nightmare in the fact that I'm having the worst time keeping this bit up in terms that I'm constantly backspacing. I'm like, no, this isn't how it isn't. Why isn't it lining up correctly? What is this format? Fuck you, Discord. And then I can see people popping up like, so-and-so's typing. I'm like, no, don't fuck this up. I'm trying to do that. And I'm freaking out. And then, boom, I just snap right out of it. And I wake up in the real world. And I just hear this faint, hysterical crying. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I don't know what to feel. I don't know if you've ever been waking up just ripped out of your dream by anything. And I'm not talking about like maybe ripped out by your alarm clock. I'm talking about just like grabbed by the fucking collar of your shirt and just ripped right out of your fucking sleep into just nothingness, essentially, into just straight up confusion. Please don't leave me, please don't leave me, please don't leave me. And I'm like, okay, this is the first time I'm hearing voices. I'm going schizophrenic. I start to kind of wake up a little bit. I look at my phone, it's like 2:15. And I'm like, okay. Somebody's crying, and it's nobody in my apartment because of how faint and muffled it is, but I can still make out what they're saying. And I'm like, what the fuck? Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Please don't hit me. Please don't leave me. They're saying, please don't leave me, right? So I kind of just sit there, or lay there, rather. I'm just like, okay. Time to analyze the situation. Is this a domestic dispute that I might have to call the cops for? Or is this some bullshit that is going to annoy me and keep me up for the rest of the night? I listen closely, right? Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I'm so sorry. Please don't leave me. It's a woman, by the way. If it's not clear by the way I'm whining. Please don't leave me. Is that better? So I hear this crying out loud. I'm like, okay. She's saying, please don't leave me. So no one's getting hit, hopefully. So I'm like, okay. Now I'm just annoyed. Nobody's in trouble. Nobody's dying. This is just a big inconvenience that I now have to deal with. And so all I can hear is one person. So now I'm starting to think, okay, what's happening over there? Since now I'm fully awake. I'm like, okay, maybe she's on the phone and she's having a breakdown. while simultaneously dealing with a breakup, which I'm pretty sure we've all been there, where we're begging the person to not leave us. I've been through it definitely before because I'm a sad little bitch. But again, we've all been through it. And then I start thinking, okay, who is it though? Right? Because there's at least 2 different women living there. Is it the crackhead woman, or is it the wife/girlfriend with the kid? Now I'm kind of thinking, okay, do I feel bad for this person because it might be the woman with the kid? Or am I even more annoyed and frustrated because it's the crackhead? Right? Because at least if it's the woman with the kid, I kind of feel bad because if she's being left by the husband boyfriend, I'm like, that's gotta suck immediately. Depending on whether it's your fault he's leaving or not, it still kind of sucks, right? So then I'm laying there, and she's just saying the same fucking thing over and over again. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Please. But then I start to hear a muffled voice. Very muffled, very calm. I'm like, I can't hear. So I roll myself closer to the wall. My bed's against the wall to their side. And I slam my ear quietly against the wall and just place it there. I'm like, all right. And I can hear them both clear as day. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I'm sorry. Please don't leave me. I'm sorry. And in the best, just the calmest, monotone voice. Please stop it. Stop. Please stop. You're being loud. Quit it. Stop it. I'm leaving. Stop. Stop it. You're being too loud. I kind of lightly chuckle to myself because I'm like, this is not what's happening right now at 2 in the fucking morning. Nothing good happens at 2 a.m. And so, and with each whine of this woman, I'm getting a little bit more backstory into what's possibly happened. She's like, please don't leave me, please don't leave me. I know it's cliche, I know it's always been said, but I promise I'll do better. Just please don't leave me, please don't leave me, please don't leave me. I'm sorry, I did it, I'm sorry, please. No, stop it, I'm leaving. Stop being loud, you're gonna wake up people, stop it. And now I'm like, okay, I'm starting to put pieces together. I'm like, okay, this bitch did something. Maybe she cheated on him. I'm assuming, right? Maybe she's being crazy, because obviously she's being really fucking crazy right now. And he's kind of just had enough about it, right? You know, if he caught her cheating, he's just like, fuck it, I'm out of here, right? Which, good on that king, right? And if she's just being crazy, good on that king too, but goddamn, fucking shut up. Can you shut her up just a little bit more, please? And what makes me almost burst out laughing and blowing my secret operative cover of eavesdropping, and kind of just makes me have this epiphany of why I'm able to hear her so clearly, is she's going, please don't leave me, I'm sorry, please. And then he just says, this makes me almost laugh my ass off, blow my cover, he goes, stop it, get out of the closet. Get out of the closet. Get out of the closet. Stop screaming. This crazy bitch, in order to stop this dude from leaving her, locked herself in the closet. Stopping the dude from getting his shit and walking out. Locked herself in the closet. And that's why I can fucking hear her clear as fucking day. Because as soon as like he says, "Get out of the closet," I just hear. The door opens and closes, and then I don't hear any of them for the rest of the night. I only hear I hear the door open to the closet a little bit, like, and then like some rustling, and then like silence. Then I hear like a faint like oh, I think that was the front door. And I'm just laying there, and I'm close to the parking lot where we park our cars. I don't have a car, but you know what I mean. They park the cars, and all I hear is beep, beep, beep. I'm like, that was him. Could have been anyone, but nobody's leaving at 3 a.m. That was him. By God, he did it. He fucking did it. He left. And I haven't heard anything since. And like I said, the reason why I might feel somewhat bad for her is that if it is the girl with the kid, the kid just lost their parent. They lost a parent, the dad, an important figure in anybody's life. Doesn't matter who you are. But the mom is most important. She's the mother and nurturing. Like, fuck you. The dad is important as well. But he's a cis man. Like, I'm cis. I'm cis, sister. Not that I'm important. But, you know, you kind of feel bad. I kind of hope if it was the dude with the kid, that he at least stays in the kid's life. If this whole thing doesn't sort itself out in a way of them getting back together, I would at least hope that he's not just gonna leave completely from these people's lives, you know. But if it was the crack whore and her boyfriend, I could barely give any shits about that. Right? I don't know if you noticed, but my demeanor and my volume of voice was very low for that whole story because I'm conscious. I'm self-conscious of other people's feelings sometimes. And if they're listening to me, I'm sorry. I just think that your situation's a lot funny. It's a lot funny. I think your situation is comical in that it's something that you don't get to witness every day, of strangers waking you up in the middle of the night through a fight or through a breakup. It's like something you hear from other people or you see in a rom-com or other shitty movie. My God, we are breaching an hour and 19 minutes for our pilot episode. Golf clap. My God. Holy shit. That was actually really fun to do this. My God. Yeah, it's fun. I'm actually really happy that I've actually gotten myself up to do this. It's awesome. I would have done it a lot sooner, but I was supposed to do this yesterday. Go fucking figure. But I decided to work on kind of a template, like a thumbnail for the podcast. And I did some quick art. I draw sometimes. I do. It's one of my hobbies. I like to play video games. I like to draw sometimes. I like to write a lot. I like to do photography sometimes. The thing is that for me, drawing is such a bad thing because I'm a very impatient person. Like platforming games for me are very difficult because I'm impatient. Drawing can be really bad for me because I'm impatient, because I kind of just want, I have the image in my head of what I want to draw and do, and then as soon as it starts getting on there, I'm like, okay, let's hurry this shit up, let's go, let's do it. I never really take my time with it, but I kind of took my time a little bit on this, but I can definitely see it, and you'll probably see it too, where I kind of was just like, I fucking don't give a shit anymore. Which is fine. I'm not saying that I'm an artist in drawing by any means, but I think it'll It'll be fine. I think it's a great expression of art. For me, it definitely shows what kind of person I am. Drawing does that. Art does that for people. It's a way to express yourself, and you can tell kind of a person's personality through how they draw and how they color and things like that. But yeah, I honestly, I'd love to thank any of you and all of you who have decided to listen to this podcast. And by golly, I hope you follow for more. Again, I'm going to plug myself a second time, because why the fuck not? I am a douchebag. If you want to follow and hopefully listen to more, right now I'm just going to be on YouTube until I can figure out how to do other apps like Spotify and whatnot. And I hope you follow me at youtube.com/MaddieCK. Again, that is youtube.com/MaddieCK. And if you want to go ahead, you can also follow me on twitch.tv/MaddieCK Live, where I'll sometimes stream some video games. And because it's now October, I'm actually going to be doing, hopefully a little bit, I'm going to finish Resident Evil 7, that piece of shit. And then I'm going to probably play Dead Space 2. I already did Dead Space 1. Maybe not. Maybe I'll do Dead Space again. Maybe for video chronology. Because I didn't record any VODs for Dead Space 1. But I'll definitely maybe do Dead Space 2. I have done Layers of Fear 2 on my channel, but I haven't done Act 3. So I might just finish Act 3 live on twitch.tv/MaddieCK Live. And take the VOD from that and then maybe record the last episode for it. And just, or not record it, it's already recorded, but edit and post the last episode for it on my YouTube. And then I want to play Soma, because I've never played it. I've only seen gameplay of it, but goddamn, is it a cool game? And I'm gonna stream that too. And then whatever other bullshit that's spooky scary for the month of October. I want to be one of those people. One of those YouTubers or influencers that do holiday specific things, even though most of the time when it's holiday specific, it's just, okay, horror games, because that's kind of like the only medium that's like horror specific that you can do for like a holiday. Nobody's gonna be playing a fucking Christmas game, if they even exist. Like, they exist, but nobody's gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna stream Christmas game for Christmas. Nobody's doing that. People are, for Christmas, hanging out with their friends and families. For Halloween, you're staying home, watching a horror movie, or handing out candy, or trick-or-treating, or playing horror games for other people or yourself for your enjoyment. But yeah, like I said, if you guys enjoyed this, which I hope you did, I enjoyed doing it. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to do episode 2. Probably going to try and do 1 episode a week. Maybe we'll see how it goes. I'm lazy as fuck, but I want this to be something that I do regularly. And man, I'm actually really excited for doing the next episode. Don't know what the fuck I'm going to talk about, but I can just go on a tangent for an hour, and that should work, because it did for like 20 minutes. So I just need to stretch that out to an hour and redo that. So again, follow me on YouTube for the podcast for now at youtube.com/MaddieCK. And also check out my other videos there if you're into gaming or my live action stuff. They're just really short snippet skits, me doing stupid shit. And then, of course, if you want to see me do it live, video game wise, twitch.tv/MaddieCK Live. I don't have really anything else. Probably going to get rid of my Twitter, so I'm not going to plug that anymore, because Twitter is a hellhole, and it's the worst fucking thing to ever come into human existence, other than humans. All right, so again, I'm really bad at ending shit. If that's one thing that you'll get to know about me, is I'm really bad at just stopping crap. All right. Okay, thank you guys so much. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You know, all that stupid shit. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. All right. Peace. Guys, I've come back from the future to tell you that we're now on Anchor and Spotify. Oh my god, yes, you're no longer have to settle for YouTube. We are on Spotify and Anchor. I figured it out thanks to Google.com how to put my podcast on Spotify and Anchor. Spotify and Anchor. You can find me on Spotify and Anchor when you search up Exclusively Solo Podcast. That is right, search up Exclusively Solo Podcast on Spotify and Anchor, and you'll be able to find my podcast there, ready to listen to while you're driving, going on a jog, jerking off, whatever you do. I don't care. Go ahead, give it a listen, give it a whirl. And if you want, you could still watch it on YouTube, and that's youtube.com/MattyCK, where you can see the podcast and even more stuff that I also post. Okay, now I gotta go back to the future before I go and accidentally have sex with my mom. Alright, peace.